those that fear us and those that are politically afraid of us should be, because we will show up at the polls. We will run, we will vote, and we will win.
Black women,
and
African American women in particular have powered a lot of change, social and electoral, in this country.
I said, everything that's wrong in the community, everything that is happening to you, you have the ability to change.
Things that affect us can be connected directly to politicians.
We're the heartbeat of the Democratic Party. If there's something that we want to see our party doing that they're not doing, we just need to run for office ourselves. There's so many beautiful models of that right now.
Black women have changed the fabric and the tapestry of this country wherever we go.
It's time for us to say, I'm not sure if you want to hear me, but I'm here to be heard. And I think that's important. And it's important for the generations who's coming behind us.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank our filmmaker, Damian D. Smith, and 4910 Rosalie Productions for that incredible video about Black women and what we can do with our civic engagement power in this country and in this state. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nia Weeks. I am the founder and executive director of Citizen She and Citizen She United. I am joined with my friend, board member Lauren Turner. And I'm going to bring Lauren on in a second. We're going to talk about some incredible stuff that we have going on for this cycle, for this stage that we are in our lives. And with so much going on, the reality is that there are some things that are really, really exciting. And one thing that's exciting is that we have the opportunity and ability to garner our power as Black women and really make real systemic change for us, building upon the legacy of the Black women that came before us. And we can build upon that and have something great for our lives and something amazing to pass on to our babies. Before we get into our program this morning, we have an extra special treat. Icon is an incredible poet from New Orleans, lives here, and she has graced us with the opportunity to hear her words and hear her thoughts. And so I am going to share with you what she has shared with us. And I hope that you all enjoy it. And this is my first time doing all of these things. And I am, here we go, really excited to share her words with you. Oh, goodness. And of course, all the internet capacities, Lord. It is not coming up as we want. Well, we will put that on pause for a second and probably bring that back on the end. But I am going to introduce you guys to someone that you will all know very well very soon, Lauren Turner. Lauren Turner is my friend. She is a board member of Citizen She United, and is the director of the Road to 300,000. The Road to 300,000 in Louisiana, we have over 700,000 Black women that are eligible to vote. However, only 157,000 of us are considered frequent voters. That means there are only 157,000 of us that go out to the polls and participate in elections to elect people, policies, issues that impact our lives. And there's a reality in Louisiana that we are at the bottom of everything good and at the top of everything that's harmful to Black women and Black communities. And one way to prevent that continued cycle is for us to vote for people who believe in us, see our humanity, and to vote for policies that reflect our needs in the spaces that we want. And so we are trying to get 300,000 Black women in Louisiana to become frequent voters. And that is the road to 300,000. So Lauren is going to be our marching captain as we journey on this path. So welcome, Lauren, so much to this broadcast.
Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. We are ready. So just like what Nia said, we know that Black women are very active with voting engagement, and that we are often the driving forces behind policy change and leadership change in this country and here in Louisiana. And now we know also that we're going to have to step up and go even further and go farther with our efforts to really do what we do best, and that is rally and mobilize and bring people in and expand our sense of community and what that means. And we're great at that. So that's the good news. The good news is we're just going deeper with what we already as Black women know how to do so well.
Yes.
And, I think that everyone knows what's at stake, right? Everyone knows what's at stake with this voting, with this election cycle. And we need to do a really great job of bringing in people who may not be fully aware, and also connecting the dots as to how this election cycle directly impacts our lives and the quality of our lives, the quality of our children's lives, and our communities at large. So we're asking all of you Black women in Louisiana and beyond, to grab your mother, your sister, your people, your colleagues at work. Who else?
Your daughter,
your daughter,
your husband, your neighbor,
everybody. And we're asking you to squad up on this road to 300,000. And really what that means is you are joining us on our digital platform, which you can visit at www.shesquadsup.motivate.us. That's www.
I got you.
Squad.motivate.us, and you and your squad get plugged in on there, and then literally that platform leads you through a series of tasks, not a lot of tasks, but a series of tasks to make sure that you and your squad are ready. That means checking your registration, because they like to do some things, switch some things around that make the harder. Right.
Off the pole.
Right. And so we're ready. We're already thinking about that. We're already combating voter suppression. So checking our registration, learning about candidates. We're doing this together as a community. And for every task that you complete, you're gaining points. And you can trade those points in for rewards. So we had to throw a little fun in there as well. And a little celebration. And when we get to the end of this road, which is early voting for us, because we can't play around. We have to vote early. Yes. When we get to the end of this road, we're going to celebrate the power and the agency that is us, and the ways that we are authentically ourselves and are able to show up for each other. So that is She Squads Up. We are asking, this is a hootie hoo. This is a hootie hoo to Black women in Louisiana, the full spectrum of Black women in Louisiana, to squad up, and let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Yep. I love how you said the full spectrum of Black women too, Lauren, because we are talking to anybody that's living in this skin, right? That identifies in any way, right, to Black women in any way, shape, or form. Non-binary, trans Black women, Black women that are currently and formerly incarcerated, young Black women, poor Black women, rich Black women, because Black women have money too, Black women that are navigating health issues, Black women that are navigating violence in their homes and their communities in any way, shape, or form. We have got to restructure how we experience life in this country and in this world. And, voting is not the only answer. There's so many people out there doing incredible work to combat exactly what we're working towards. This is just our piece of the pie. And this piece, having policymakers, I always say you can't change policy till you change the policymaker. And if we have to have policymakers in place that believe in our humanity, believe that we have the right to exist the way we choose to exist, believe that our babies have the right to exist how they choose to exist. You know, our Black kids need to be able to dream. They need to be able to relax and not worry about, you know, I've got my children worrying about all kinds of things. And our children deserve the opportunity to sit back and just dream without having all the other things to be concerned about. And one way to get us there is to vote. You know, and it's not just the policymakers, right, Lauren? It's issues, it's the decisions that the policymakers are able to make when it comes to other aspects of our lives. For example, and we're going to be talking about this throughout this cycle, you know, the president gets to choose the federal court judges. They get to choose who's on the Supreme Court. And every issue that concerns us, you know, voting rights and housing and, you know, discrimination and, you know, police protect, all of that is going to go through a court system to decide what actions are okay and what actions are not okay. And I would like the person who's making those decisions to be someone that I don't have to do that extra leap and explain my humanity to and convince them that I have the right to exist so that their decisions can reflect that. I want them to already know that going in. And if I know that the leader gets to make the decision I want to make sure that leader believes the same thing. And so, you know, and we're going to be doing a lot of education, huh, Lauren?
Yes.
You know, fun education.
I think that's key. And then, you know, also, Nia, you know, when we're able to show up, you know, 300,000 strong here in the state of Louisiana, exactly what you're saying, we are increasing our political weight as a community, you know what I mean, as Black women. And so even if the elected leader is not a Black woman, they understand the importance of leaning in and listening to Black women because we're taking up that space. And I think we need to start being unapologetic in the way that we take up space.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times Black women are told by society to try to shrink ourselves to make ourselves fit. And I really feel like the road to 300,000 is saying emphatically, bump that. No more shrinking ourselves to make ourselves fit. We are showing up and we're taking up as much space as we can grab. All the space. All the space. Because, and here's the key, and this is what I love so much about your work, Nia, with Road to 300,000, because we deserve it. We deserve it.
You know, on that note, Lauren, I think I am able to hopefully now do the screen share with this incredible poem from Icon.
Okay.
So I am going to share this now.
I grew up watching Mama Dear. How she would take a few cups of cornmeal, a half gallon of milk, a couple of eggs, and feed her entire family. Watch both my grandmothers take the bitterness of divorce and turn it to some of the sweetest homemade cakes you've ever tasted. Watched my own mother take an unplanned teenage pregnancy and years of ridicule and turn it into over 30 years of marriage, a career in education, and an award-winning poet for a daughter. See, I'm from a long line of women. Women knew how to take life's most bitter ingredients and turn them into something worth licking your plates for. Women whose palms are laced with wrinkles and stardust, who weave miracles from misfortune. See, you can call them women, call them mothers, call them alchemists, even call them magicians, but whatever you call them, you better make sure you call them ma'am or missus, because they are the type of women who demand respect. No hand on hip or roll of neck to keep you in check. Nah, my mama and Mama Dear, they the type of women whose eyes say everything their mouths never need to. See, the women in my family, they inhale life's pollution and exhale gospel. They are walking, talking hymnals, perfect verses of chestnut skin and big bones set over organs and strong heartbeats, all testimony and healing, all holy. And how I got over. The women in my family be bridges over troubled waters. Beautiful examples of how to take life's storms and turn them into baptisms. And some days, I don't feel worthy of this kind of salvation. Well, I know I have been saved by their blood, sweat, and tears. Some days, no matter how much I accomplish, I wonder if I am doing such a legacy any justice. Oh, what a cross to bear. Because see, this world will try to make you forget the strength in your own spine, even when it's in your DNA to bend and never break, even after you give and give and give and never take anything for yourself. They taught me how women are sometimes seen as saviors, but never as angels. That's why we've had to learn to take the scars on our own shoulders and carve out our own wings, which is to say we don't need the world to tell us we fly. Although it would be a nice gesture, well-deserved recognition, but thankfully, our mamas and Medias, they taught us how to be our own tambourines, which is to say they taught us how to shake the devil off our backs and Holy Ghost dance all over his neck. See, their ancestors taught them that. These were the things that could not be drowned in the Atlantic Ocean, and for them we say, hallelujah. For all those who came before us, we say, thank you, God, for I am from a long line of women who be teachers, social workers, nurses, and cooks, women who taught me how to take classrooms and kitchens and turn them into pulpits, also the same women who have taught me that when your life becomes a sermon that don't nobody else want to hear, sometimes you got to be your own amen. 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 Amen.
I'm just taking all of that in.
Yes.
I'm taking all of that in. Lauren and I, the reality of living in this world, the reality of living as Black women in this world, the intersectionality of all of those pieces. I had shared, I spent the last week in the hospital because of a health issue. I'm type 1 diabetic. My sugar shot up to 600. And, I got very sick. And part of me getting sick was because I was running and filling all those intersectional gaps, making sure the kids were taken care of in school, making sure that, work was getting done, making sure that, each of their issues were taken care of. And I was taking care of everything else around me. And I forgot the importance of checking my blood sugar. And that's such a simple thing, Lauren. It's so simple for me to prick my finger and check my sugar. But I was so distracted by the world around me and so distracted by everything going on that I couldn't find the time to check my own blood sugar to save my own life. And, it had me thinking a lot sitting in that hospital because we were, you and I are planning this and we're doing this work. And there's a reality that hit me and caught my throat that when I come back, none of that is going to change. The responsibilities, this intersectionality, all the pieces that made me forget to check my sugar were still going to exist. And the reality that I may again forget to check my sugar on a consistent basis could land me in the same space. And I sit in a space of a lot of privilege because I have a home, I have food, I have friends, I have a community. Kids ate so well. Thank y'all so much. Kids. Kim was like, Mom, it's a buffet in here. Everyone reached out and was there for us in ways that humbled me, but also made me recognize that there are Black women right now who are so overwhelmed with everything around them that they're not even able to check their blood sugar, and that they don't have the resources at all to take care of their own bodies, much less ensure that their families are taken care of if something happens. And we can't continue to live in the world where that is the reality. We can't continue to live in a world where, like in Louisiana, Black women make 48 cents to every dollar white men make, We've got to make up that 42 cents somehow. And we make all kinds of decisions to make that up. We talk about, women's health and women's, feminine health or our bodies. But Black women in Louisiana are dying at rates higher than anywhere else when it comes to even having children. And so the idea and desire to even have children, you have to contemplate your own mortality. That reality should not exist for us. There's nothing wrong with our bodies. And there's nothing different about us in a way that makes us more susceptible to dying, absent policies that don't reflect the fact that we have the right and the need to live. And so this journey to the road to 300,000 is just one step, one piece of the puzzle, because what we're working towards is a collective policy agenda that reflects the needs of Black women in our city, our state, and our country, and our world. That we can find spaces of low-hanging fruit. We're all different. We don't all believe this. We're not a monolith. And we believe things, experience things, know things, and come to things from different vantage points. And that is great. We should have diversity in thought. We shouldn't all feel the same way about everything or one thing. We should have voices and everybody being a part of this. And in order for us to get there where everybody is respected, where everybody's understood, where everybody is heard, we've got to learn and understand each other, take this first step, create this space, and then we can start having real intentional conversations about what it means to have a fully inclusive agenda so that Black women, Black families, and real talk, when Black women and Black families win, everybody wins.
Everybody's winning. Everybody's winning. Otherwise, Nia, they'll continue to kill us and say we enjoyed it. And so I think that showing up on this road to 300,000, squatting up in so many ways, it's our insulin check. It's our insulin check, and it's our own amen. Like what Icon was referencing. This is how we affirm ourselves, our existence, and our right to live well and to thrive.
Yes.
That is, we are not a monolith, but that desire to live well and to thrive, I think, crosses political spectrum of where we come in to this conversation as Black women.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, because I was going
to ask you a question to share with everybody about being real specific about the different parts, because I know you mentioned that voting is a tool. Voting is one part of what's in our toolkit. So in the road to 300,000, what are the different ways that we are effectuating change for Black women in Louisiana?
Right. So one of the big things, and you and I have talked about this quite a bit, is education. And not educating because people aren't smart, it's just really being understanding how all these pieces impact our lives. Like I said, we get so busy and so bogged down with the impact that we don't take the time, because we don't have it, to think about how each piece moves together. And so every Monday, we're going to have a Motivation Monday. You're going to, just do things to lift up our spirits. But every Tuesday, it's going to be a Topic Tuesday. And we are going to talk about a specific issue, do a 10-minute, education on why that piece is important. Next week, we're talking about digital organizing, which I love, and how to, organize your people online, how to identify who you are, identify who your people are, your audience, how to talk to them and bring them and educate them on what you want them to know. And that can be anything. It could be, I want them to know what it feels like to live in my body. I want to educate them, people about what it means to be a single mom with multiple kids. I want to, educate people on what I'm going through, when it comes to, my own health journeys. But there's ways to do it online and then through digital organizing. So we're going to teach that. We're going to teach about what the importance of the court system, like I said earlier, the federal court system, and how those pieces impact your life. You know, we think about the Supreme Court in the space way out there, but those decisions impact our lives right now. And so we're going to talk about how that path from the Supreme Court to into our homes, what that looks like. We're going to talk about voter suppression. We're going to talk about the role of the DA. You know, so we're going to have all these conversations about all, you know, those pieces so we can understand what kind of impact our vote can have, right?
I can't wait until the role of the DA conversation, especially in light of what's going on with Breonna Taylor in Kentucky. That's going to be something that I definitely want to tune into.
Yeah, I just want to pause and give Breonna Taylor just a moment because she deserved it. So thank you, Lauren, for mentioning that. Yeah, I'm excited about that conversation as well. You know, I'm excited about, you know, we're going to be talking about voter suppression. We're going to talk about what does it mean to be a poll worker, right? And get more money for their families. Those women that are dancing, they make between $40,000 to $120,000 a year, which is way more than people make, you know, doing minimum wage. And we're in a state that hasn't passed equal pay. We're in a state that doesn't have a living wage. And so the reality is that money's got to be made. And we have to be able to respect and understand that we don't know the complexities or the totality of anyone's life. And so, you know, if that is what they need to do, because work, baby. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. So I do want to bring on one of our partners. So one of the things exciting about doing this work is that you get to work with all kinds of people and you get to have incredible allies. And we want to squad up. And when I found Citizen She, I went to Netroots and I met this young woman who was starting a brand new organization. Her name was Jess. And Jess was starting a brand new organization called Motivote. And she was talking about digital organizing. She was talking about this platform to like get people to, you know, jump on and organize differently. And it was an introduction. You know, you do like, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. She did that. And I was like, oh, I'm hanging out with her. And so Jess and I have been navigating together, trying to figure out a way to put all of our pieces together. She's been an incredible supporter. Motivote has been an incredible friend and supporter. And we are here. So Rachel, who is the co-founder with Jess. I met Jess first, but then I got to meet Rachel. Incredible allies, and have put together this incredible platform for us to squad up and get this stuff moving. And so we're going to present all the things about Motivote, all the things about Squad Up, and answer any questions that people have. And so I'm bringing Rachel up on. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
How are you?
Rachel.
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
So good. We are incredible. This has been a great morning. We've had Icon, a local poet, and not local, award-winning international poet, give us some great messages. We've had a wonderful video by our filmmaker, and actually, Damien has like made 9 docuseries for us. So, you know, appreciate 4910 Rosalie for that. So we've had an incredible morning. Lauren and I have had an incredible conversation. And now we're ready to show these people what this work gonna look like.
Awesome.
So I have pulled up the Motivote, and I am going to do a screen share, Rachel, so we can walk through all pieces that are Motivote. And so I'm gonna let you kind of take over and explain like how the platform works.
Great. Thank you. And I will just say we are also so excited about this partnership. You know, I know when Jess came back from Netroots that when she first met you, she was so excited about the work that you're doing. And we're so glad that now, I guess, 2 years later, we're able to work together again and help get women out to vote and Black women out to vote in Louisiana. So Motivote is a digital platform. It's not an app, so there's nothing anyone needs to download, but you can get to it from your web browser, either on your computer or your phone. And the whole idea behind Motivote is to make voting really easy and social and fun so that people actually do it. We know that on top of, things like voter suppression and structural barriers, there's also just the fact that voting is just like not that easy and our regular life can get in the way. So we've created this platform to help walk people through the process, help them help their friends get through the process, and make it a fun as they go along. So this is the platform. You'll see here there's a welcome message, which you can just click out of if you want. There's a tour, so when people start, but I can kind of give you the lay of the land and the tour here. And so this is the Citizen She Squads Up platform where everyone can go on and join and get ready to vote and help their friends do that as well. So there are kind of 4 main components that I will talk about here and how to use it. So the first thing is our actions. So if you go to the actions page, this is where you can see really the core of the platform, which is all about getting ready to vote and taking other civic actions. So there's things like getting election reminders that you can sign up for. And then also we'll help walk you through the process. So when you find your next election, we'll then have a little pop-up message that tells you when your next election is. You'll get reminders about that. And then based on what the rules are where you live and whether you're going to vote absentee or in person, you'll get specific reminders that are going to help walk you through that process. So do you need to find your polling place? Do you need to request a ballot? Do you need to, make sure you have the right ID? All of those things, Motivote is going to help walk you through. So Nia, if you were to put in your address here, you'll get a little pop-up message or an address if you don't want to put yours up on the screen. A little box that will pop up. And the other thing that's going to happen when you take any of these actions is you're going to get points. And so what's really great about the points is it does a couple things. One, it's some friendly competition. So you see now you have points, you get your next election that's coming up, and this will automatically update. So once we get through the Louisiana primary, it will then update for the general, because I know you all have an election in December as well. And you can see now you have some additional actions you can take. So selecting your voting method, putting election day on your calendar. If you're anything like me, you kind of live and die by your calendar. So I want to make sure election day is on my calendar. And doing all these things will give you points. We're also going to be adding some custom actions just for Citizen She Squad members, things like sharing on social media and looking at different kind of videos and things like that. So all of these things you're doing, you're getting points. These count for a couple things. One, this friendly competition I was mentioning. So both individually, which you can see on the members list, you can kind of see how folks are doing. There's just a few people on here right now, but you can see how people are doing, where they're voting. And it also can be used for teams. So each person is going to be able to create their own squad. So if you actually click the Teams tab first before you hit create teams, sorry about that. If you hit team, I'm pointing at my screen like you're going to be able to see my finger. So I created 2 teams here this morning. So we've got a team for both of you, a squad for you each. And so you'll be able to compete. And so Nia, you could go in there and join your team. And once you join that, if you hit that yellow button, you're now on the team, and we're both kind of we're both on this team together, competing against now Lauren's team. And as everyone else starts to join and create their accounts, each person can hit that create team button up on the right there and create their own team. And so it's not just like an individual competition, but also whose squad can, get the most people engaged and ready to vote. So you can customize this with an image and a description, come up with your own team name, and it can just make it really fun. We also made it really easy to invite your friends to your team. So there's also an invite friends button at the top. And then you get your own individual invite link to invite your friends to your team. And what that means is that you get points for each person that you invite who joins your team. So you get points when they join, they get some additional points. So it's not only about taking actions to get ready to vote, but also how many people can you get involved. The last thing I'll mention where points come into play is the prize store. So this is the other really fun thing about Motivote, is that you can use the points that you're getting to become active and engaged and get others active and engaged to win real life rewards from some of our prize sponsors. So we have things in here you can see like gift cards, discount codes. We have a signed copy of Becoming by Michelle Obama. We have some Motivote swag and things like that. And so you can use your points to enter to win these prizes, and we'll be continuing to add more prizes as we get closer to election day. So you're, celebrating with some friendly competition, but you can also get some real life stuff to celebrate the fact that you're getting engaged. So that's Motivote. We are so excited to have everyone on the platform, but let me see what questions I can answer.
Rachel, I'm brand new to this. Like this is incredible. I'm so excited. Do they need to call me or Lauren in order to start a squad, or can they just go on the platform and start their own squad?
Yeah, everyone can just go on and start their own squad. So it's just shesquadsup.motivote.us. You create an account. So you just need your name and your email, and you'll set a password. You'll get an email to activate your account, kind of like any other platform you sign up for. Once you click that, you'll be on the platform, and you can just hit that create team button, create your squad, and start inviting your friends and family.
Awesome. And what if the people that I would like to invite are not Black women? What if I've got my family? What if my family wants to squad up? Me, my partner, my kids, my aunts and uncles. Can we do that?
Yes, everyone is invited. I think the more people voting, the better. And the cool thing I'll say is, I know you all are focused on Louisiana, but if you have folks in your community that are not in Louisiana, Motivote will take care of making sure they all have the right information. So you don't have to worry about making sure that like your aunt in Ohio, that the right info to give her. Motivote will take care of that. So you can invite folks from all over.
So say we're squad up and we're doing all the things, and then how do we prove that we're doing stuff? How do we show that we actually voted? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, that is a great point. And so a bunch of these actions are things that will happen kind of automatically as you go through. Like it will connect to your calendar, and so when you add it to your calendar, so Motivote will know you did that and give you points. There's a few actions where we'll ask you like, did you do this thing? And you just need to say yes, that you went through and you did it. But the really fun thing is at the end, we're all going to celebrate voting together by sharing I voted selfies.
Yes.
So, I don't know about both of you, but I take a selfie every election day, and I save my stickers because I'm a voting nerd. But everyone will take a selfie with their sticker, or if you're voting absentee, the outside of your ballot, and share that with Motivote. And there'll be a page that's going to come up that's going to share everyone's selfies so we can celebrate together. And it's a fun way to confirm that you voted. And if you look and you see, oh, my friend hasn't put up her selfie yet, you can remind her to make sure that she's voting.
Awesome. I love it.
I love that. What's that?
Right?
No, I love that. I love where's your selfie? Did you vote yet? I love that.
Yes. Yes. Lauren, I know Rachel talked about customized actions. You are the one that is putting in these customized actions. Can you give them an idea of what some of them look like?
Sure. So we're going to have actions. Rachel already talked about sharing that you're a part of this. We'll also have a customized action around creating a video digital pledge to vote and sharing your video pledge. We're also going to be sharing encouraging Squad Up members to host a view party for all skin folk and kinfolk, and having a discussion around the film. Mm-hmm. We're going to be asking people to participate in or view Citizen She's voter guide. There'll be a lot of different things, and also in not just the rewards that are built into the platform, but once again, we're planning on hosting a huge Citizen She is going to host a huge virtual celebration for everyone who joined us on the road to 300,000 to kind of celebrate in that moment of what we've accomplished. And the key here, our goal is early voting. We want people to early vote. And Nia, can you tell everybody why that's our goal for the road to 300,000?
Absolutely. So early voting in Louisiana happens over a whole week. So you have a whole week to figure out what time works for you. You have a whole week to figure out what you need and to be able to go out and vote. It's also, there's a limited amount of spaces that you're able to go do early voting, which is actually good because you don't have to look for a polling location. You just go to one place. It's a one-stop shop. And so a lot of times what happens is, especially during COVID, they're changing our polling locations. So I used to vote all the time at the church by my house. I went last time and they said, you ain't voting here, you got to go down the street. And if I didn't have transportation, if I didn't have time, I would have not been able to participate in voting on election day. However, that whole week of early voting, I could have gone to City Hall. I could have gone to the East. If I was at on the West Bank, which I don't go often. I love the West Bank, but I go often. If I were there, I could be like, you know what? I'm going to buy me a cute dress and I'm going to go vote. So you can kind of fit it into your schedule, into your space. It also gives us the opportunity if something happens, right? If we're an ID state, right? And so if you don't have your ID and you can have to do some kind of special something, if for some reason they change your registration, because that happened last time. If something, just comes up weird, we have time to help you fix it before election day. And so we're going to be putting together a hotline of attorneys, Black women attorneys, that you can call during early voting to help you navigate if an issue comes up. We have a lot of spaces and resources that we can help fix before election day. So we're not waiting until election day and something happens and we're like, what do we do, right? We have time and space and breath. Also, like the realities of Black women, our lives are intersectional. Lauren's got to go in a minute because she got to go take care of her babies and school. And so we have all these things going on. And so we want to make sure that we're pushing information opportunities that give us the full breadth to make a decision about what's best for us when it comes to voting. And that's what early voting gives us the opportunity to do.
I have another question for Rachel. Can you give us some examples of groups that have joined the Motivate platform in the past? What are some creative ideas or what kind of groups are appropriate for this? Does it just have to be my friends or?
Yeah, it can really be any group that you're a part of. The reason that we're focused on squads and groups is because we know the power of kind of social accountability and social ties is really powerful for getting people to follow through. So we've had groups of just friends or family, but we've also had sororities who have formed groups together. We've had kind of civic organizations that have done this together, a class of students. So you could invite your classmates if you're, in college. I know people who they created one team for their college friends and one team for their high school friends and one team for their current, I live in the city now friends. And so you really can think about what are the groups of people that I want to create. The other thing I'll say you could do is if you under your squad, you have Lauren's squad, you could say, I'm going to create 3 teams under my squad. So you can kind of create these nested teams and be like, this is my overall squad, but here's one group of friends and here's my sorority sisters and here's my church group. You can really, any group you're a part of, they are a great fit for Motivate.
Yeah. I love that. Artists can have their own artist group. Yeah. Dancers, y'all can have your little dance group. When we were growing up in New Orleans, we had groups it was mostly the guys, but they had groups that would dance together, they call them the Power Rangers or the Street Fighters. That was their thing. Power Rangers can have their own group. So you can be as creative as you want with your people. That's what we are in New Orleans. The Mardi Gras Indians can have their own squad. Zulu Club can have their own squad and then squad up by, each float and float captains. That can happen too. There's a wide range of the way we already organize and come together in Louisiana, and we're creative about that. And so we can get really, really creative with who we squad up with and how we, we compete because we going to compete. And I think Nia's squad going to win. I'm just gonna pop my collar real quick because Nia got some dope people in her group. And so Nia squad, sorry, Lauren, we gonna bring your squad all the way.
We'll see. We'll see who wins the squad up.
I love it. Well, we are getting close to time, and I'm saying close to time because I'm respecting Lauren. Lauren is graciously joining us today, but I know she's got those 3 babies. And
I'm in virtual learning. I won't say hell because I don't know if we're cussing, but I will say I went from navigating one very complicated schedule that was my own to now navigating 3 virtual schedules and on top of mine. So yeah, we've got to go back to the virtual classroom shortly.
Yes, I love it. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this.
Thank you for having me. We're so excited for everyone to start their squads.
Yes. Thank you, Rachel.
All right, bye.
Bye.
We ready, Lauren?
We are ready.
We
want you all to join us. This is the Hootie Who. We've got to dig deep. We can't rely on the things that we have always done that have been good enough. Now we have to go beyond good enough, and we're going to have to push and bring in as many people as we possibly can. And when we get to the finish line, rejoice in the fact that we'll be getting there all together.
Yes.
Yes.
No one gets left behind.
Nobody gets left behind.
That is like one of the biggest things in this. No one gets left behind. And if you feel like you're being left behind, if you feel like you're being left out of the conversation, if you feel like we're not being inclusive, call me out and say, I appreciate all this work you're doing there, but you did not see me. I want to see you. I want to make sure that you're heard. I want to make sure that you're highlighted, because we all have to get there together in order for this to work. So super excited. Lauren, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go with the babies.
Bye, everybody. Join us, squad up, and join us on the road to 300,000. Talk to you soon.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. We are so excited. I'm going to put this up one more time. If you go to shesquads.up.motivo.us, you can start your team, squad up. Feel free. You can email me. My email is she@citizenshe.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions. You can inbox me, anything that you need, so that we can make sure that we are heard. We're going to be doing a lot of programming every week. Monday is Motivation Monday. And so tune into that. Tuesday, Topic Tuesday, we're going to do some learning. It's going to be some fun. Wednesday, we're moving She Shows Up to Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock. I've got some incredible guests lined up. And so I hope you join us for those conversations. Thursday, we're going to go back to you all getting your love letters in your inbox and on screen, but they are going to be virtual love letters. And so you'll be able to watch them and listen to them as you're doing your life. And then Friday, we're going to do video release by our incredible filmmaker, Damien D. Smith, and 4910 Rosalie Productions. They've done some incredible work putting together multiple docuseries, uplifting us and educating us about all things Black women in Louisiana. Also, we have videos from local filmmaker Nalia Jefferson. She put together 6 incredible documentaries for me on Black women and different issues that we navigate through. We're going to be doing a viewing party for all skin folk and kinfolk, October 4th, with 4910 Rosalie and their program, A Short Break. So we'll be talking to Angela Tucker, local Black woman filmmaker, who put together an incredible film about Black women and policy issues in Louisiana. There's just so much. There's just a lot. We're going to be throwing all kinds of things at you, but I'm hoping that they're fun. I'm hoping that you all enjoy. I'm hoping that you all feel seen. I'm hoping that you all feel loved. And I'm hoping that we're able to get over this hump. Tomorrow, we're going to be back right here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be talking to our young people about how they want to squad up and move together. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about some of our marginalized community members, formerly incarcerated Black women, trans Black women, Latinx Black women, and having conversation with them about what they need and what it looks like for them to navigate through life and love, so that they're not left behind and out of the conversation either. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Sorry, I'm looking at my clock. Thank you for joining this morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.